We have some massive news coming out of the NHL today. The first part is Joesph Woll is back at practice for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and is Trevor Zegras potentially going to be traded to the Montreal Canadiens? We'll break it all down for you coming up on this episode of Hat Trick HQ. But before we get into it, just want to say that 79.9% of you guys watching this aren't subscribed. So if you're looking for a home for daily NHL content, look no further. Go down below, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road for 3,000 subscribers and really appreciate it if you joined along the road with us. But with that said, let's go right into the first topic of the video today, which is Woll back at practice. And as we take a look here from David Alter on Twitter, he says Leafs practice is underway. This is the first time Joesph Woll has joined the group for a practice session. And we also see here that Joesph Woll is practicing with the main group for the first time since December 7th. Woll has been on his own for a couple of individual skates, but nothing with the main group up until today. And as we take a look at Joesph Woll, obviously this guy has been playing phenomenal for Toronto this season before his injury, posting a .916 save percentage with an 8-5-1 record in 15 starts with the Leafs this year. Mark, I know Sheldon Keefe did come out and say that Joesph Woll won't be back for quite some time, but it is great news to see that this guy is back practicing with the group. Just a big step forward for Joesph Woll.
Yeah, seeing him back on the group, on the ice with the main group is definitely just really nice to see. Like you said, Keith did come out and say it's still going to be an extended period of time before he really gets back into game action. He's not really close to a return. But the big thing is Samsonov has recently picked his game up in the past 5 games, minus last night where he was a tiny bit shaky. He has been outstanding. You've seen Martin Jones kind of step his game up as well. So not rushing a guy like Woll back is probably the best choice for Toronto. I know Woll's been had a bit of a track record with injuries through his early stages of his career, but getting him back fully healthy in time for just before the playoffs is the main focus for the Leafs. And once you get to that point, you have three reliable goalies that you can kind of shuffle between, ride the hot hand, and hopefully bring the Leafs to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, definitely. You said it perfectly there. Like, you don't want to rush this guy back. He's so young. You don't want to rush him back and just have a re-aggravating injury for the rest of his career that could really, stunt his development here. And I think getting him back to 100% before putting him back in is the great option. Toronto's goaltending has been very solid so far. Samsonov before last night was 3-0 with like a 9-4 or 5 or something like that. It might have been higher than that. And he's just been playing great for them ever since coming back from his little break he had where he was sent down and working on his own game. And like I said, Martin Jones, kind of the surprise of the year for the Toronto Maple Leafs here. They picked him up. He got sent down to the Marlies, and once Woll went out, he came up and has been playing great hockey for this team. So you have two great goaltenders here, and obviously a great goaltender who is out right now in Joesph Woll. So once he comes back, I'm assuming that they're just going to roll with this three tandem.
Yeah, that's the big thing. They'll have to figure it out who they really want as a true backup, who's going to be the starter. But at this very moment, having three goalies once Woll returns that you really can kind of lean back on is a lot better than a lot of teams. I mean, you look at Tampa at the start of the year where they didn't have Vasilevsky. So when you do look at this, having three goalies you can rely on is a lot better of a position than having what the Leafs did at the start of the year, where it was pretty much Martin Jones and no one else.
Yeah, definitely. And this is just great news for Joesph Woll. I mean, I know this guy is dying to play a game, and now seeing him back in practice is just great to see. And really hope that he recovers soon and can get back out on the ice for a game sometime soon. But we'll keep you updated on everything around Joesph Woll. But we're going to get into our next topic of the video today, which is this will be massive for the Habs. And as we take a look it was on the JIC show on TVA Sports where former Montreal Canadian Maxime Lapierre expressed optimism about the Canadiens' future despite Sean Monahan's departure. He highlighted Kent Hughes' strategic position, armed with 2 first-round picks this year and the next. Lapierre envisioned leveraging these assets for a significant trade, aiming for similar deals to the ones the team made to land Kirby Dach and Alex Newhook. And as we see here, he mentioned that there are rumors the Canadians linking the Canadians to the Ducks and Trevor Zegras. Acknowledging his exceptional talent, Lapierre questioned if he was the type of player capable of leading the Montreal Canadiens to a Stanley Cup victory. He emphasized the need for a playoff-savvy player, citing examples like Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron as the desired profile for the Canadiens. And Eric Ingles of Sportsnet wrote, But if Zegras does become available, I wonder how many other teams will be willing to offer Anaheim a top 10 pick to acquire him. That's what Kent Hughes needs to find out before contemplating moving his as a centerpiece of a trade that would give the Ducks two and bring Zegras to Montreal. And as we take a look at Trevor Zegras' stats, obviously he was dealing with an injury. I believe he may still be out as we are recording this video. And he has 7 points through 20 games this season. Last year having the best season of his career in the NHL with 65 points in 81 games. Not the strongest from the face-off dot, but still pretty solid there with a 40%. And as we take a look here, obviously Trevor Zegras did sign a new contract this season in October at a 5.75 AAV value through the 25-26 season. Mark, I mean, this has been, discussed a lot throughout the NHL that the Ducks may be looking to move on from Trevor Zegras. And I really do think the Montreal Canadiens are in a prime position here now to maybe acquire a guy like this.
The big thing with Zegers, I find, is yes, he's a flashy player. He's going to sell jerseys, seats. People will show up to watch him, but it's kind of like Lapierre says, they don't know if he's going to be the type of player to help lead a team. I know Nick Suzuki is going to be the number one center for Montreal during this retool they're doing right into where they start trying to contend again. So bringing a guy like Zegers could slide in as maybe that second line center that the team really wanted or needs. But the big problem with this is just his inconsistency on defense. His offensive game is great, but there's a lot of points in the career where he hasn't put up a lot of points. So, giving up a prospect, a pick, multiple picks, whatever it might take, might work for Montreal, but I don't know if they're going to really offer this much. I do think the Ducks will be shopping. I mean, you look at the team, they have McTavish, Cutter, Leo Carlson. These are guys that are eligible to play center for them. So having a guy with Zegras that's older than these guys and not really into this time frame of their rebuild, I definitely think they're going to look to, move on from him, trade him to another team for just a load of picks, prospects, and everything, like I said.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. If he does get moved here to Montreal, I think 2 first-round picks will definitely be in the mix here to bring this guy in. And that's, the thing Kent Hughes needs to ask himself is this guy really worth, bringing in for 2 first-round picks who we just shipped out guys to, acquire? I mean, that's the question that everybody's going to ask. But I really do think a move for Trevor Zegras, whether it's to Montreal or not, is the best situation for him. I think it will really revitalize his career. Maybe he takes a look back and say, hey, maybe I need to put more work in to try to stay with the team, to try not to be traded. And I mean, this guy's still young. He has dealt with injury this season, and the potential is there for him to be a star player in the NHL. Like you said, he's a flashy player. He's going to sell jerseys. He's going to put fans in seats and stuff like this. And I really do think that this is something that Ken Hughes may take a shot on, because I think under the coach of Martin St. Louis, Trevor Zegras could really get out of his funk and be a great player.
It'd be quite funny, honestly, if Montreal just moved 2 first-round picks that they got for Sean Monahan. I mean, they got a first for taking on his contract, and then they moved him to the Jets for another first. So if they could work something out with these 2 firsts, maybe a prospect, it could be in their favor. Maybe you use Zegras. At the end of the deal, you could flip him again. It seems like they're really good with their asset management. So I don't know. Think they're going to make a big splash, but I could definitely see them kind of circling around a trade like this.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do here. And this trade won't come till in the off season. I don't think this is something we will see at the deadline at all. I think this is when, Kent Hughes really puts his mark on this Montreal team. This off season really tries to solidify a team here that could potentially be Stanley Cup contenders in a couple of years. And I really do think bringing in a guy like Trevor Zegras could be an option that we do see. And they still have a lot of trades that they will make coming up trade deadline. Jake Allen's name has been in the mix. David Savard's name's been in the mix. So this is just more assets that they're going to bring in to make moves this offseason.
Yeah, that's a big thing. There's so many players they can move out. Even a guy like Josh Anderson has kind of floated around as a potential piece for a contender. So I think Montreal's going to do a great job of moving out assets, bringing in assets, and just overall really pushing towards this retool with the young players they already have.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. We want to hear from you guys down in the comment section. What do you think? Is a Trevor Zegras trade to Montreal the right trade? Let us know down below. But we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here on the channel, and that is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to our boy Pat G Mafia. Shout out to you, Pat G, day one supporter here on the channel. Love seeing your comments down in the comment section. He says, Habs stacking up draft picks, good idea, good show, KC. Shout out to you, Pat G, obviously one of our number one supporters here on the channel, and we always love seeing you coming back to our videos, even if they aren't on the Leafs. Appreciate seeing you down there. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Like we said, we're on the road for 3,000 subscribers, and we really love to hit it. And we'd love, if you guys aren't subscribed already, to make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy the NHL, make sure to check out this video. It's popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host KC, alongside my co-host Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.